Alright, my 90%ers, welcome back. It's another episode of Cherezian Racing. We got the motor pulled all the way up as far as it'll go with everything still hooked up. Exhaust, transmission, radiator, carburetor, fuel line, everything. Got it pulled up, I don't know, a good 7-ish, 8 inches probably. Basically enough to get the oil pan off. A lot of shit in there.
A little bit. Hopefully the camera picks it up.
Yeah, there's a couple of brass chunks in there. All kinds of goodies. And I saw a chunk sitting. That's RTV. Anyways, starting it all out, we're gonna pull a couple of bearings out. I'm gonna take the oil pump apart, look at everything, make sure everything's ready to go and still good. And hopefully not have this problem again. If you guys didn't see our last video, go check it out. But this is our problem. Cheap all-star bronze gear, apparently made in China.
10 out of 10, do not recommend.
Yeah, don't buy an all-star gear. These things are garbage.
Not if you run a lot of oil pressure.
No. I thought bronze was bronze, but I guess that's incorrect. You want the one made in USA by MSD. We got it right here. It's about 80 bucks, but it's money well spent, I believe. Hopefully this guy will last us a little bit longer than this one did, which was about a whole race and a half, maybe. So hopefully it didn't do any damage to the bearings and the oil pump. We'll go ahead and get this all cleaned up and take you guys along with us and show you what the results are. Hopefully the bearings are perfect. We got a oil filter we cut open here. This is the Wix, not the race filter, but the regular filter. It's 20 microns, and I checked it all through here. It's all fine material. It didn't pick up anything big, and I think 20 microns is pretty good, so hopefully it didn't push anything major through. But if this oil filter right here went into bypass mode, then we might be SOL. Alright, come and take a little gander over here. We got the oil pump all disassembled, and it's great because there's literally no scoring at all. Inside here it looks perfect, and the gears look pretty good. Not too bad at all. So survey says that brass is pretty soft, and the little stuff that came through here probably didn't do too much damage, and the filter caught most of it. But just to be on the safe side, I'm still gonna pull a couple of bearings off, and we're gonna go ahead and just clean all this stuff up with a little bit of brake clean. The pan on the other side, it's got some chunks. We drained most of it out, but as you can see, yeah, there you go. Most of that's brass, and there's some pretty good looking slivers in there. Pretty gnarly looking slivers. Oh yeah. So, brake clean for the win on this one.
Pulled the connecting rod caps for cylinders 5 and 6.
Yeah, the rod bearings, they don't look horrible. They got a little bit of embedding from the metal in there, the bronze, but they're good. This one is a little bit worse, but not too bad. A couple scores right there. The problem we have is the main bearings are no good. Look at that. It's not real bad. You can't get a lot of lips with your finger, but I don't like the way that looks. So the good thing about being a 90%er and a budget racer is you buy the cheapest bearings possible. These are bi-aluminum, or bi-metal bearings are mostly aluminum, and they're super cheap. They're Summit brand, so they're about, I think, like 18 bucks for all the rod bearings, and then like another 22 bucks for the mains. So we're just gonna replace them all.
We call panning for gold. That is all brass residue.
That was a tooth.
Yeah.
At one time.
Like you can just
Mine is gold.
mine them for gold.
Yeah, I need another.
Just gotta make sure it's empty before we fill it back up.
Couple drops in there. On that note, we're gonna get something accomplished tonight. Let's put this oil pump back together. So I'm a firm believer of whenever you take a gear set like this apart and there's an even amount of teeth on both sides. So each teeth are always seeing the other teeth like individually. And this tooth right here is never going to see this tooth. It's always going to see this tooth. They call that a non-hunting gear set. Before you take it apart, I'm a big believer of going ahead and marking each tooth so they go back exactly where they're supposed to go. So if you can see, I took a razor blade and I marked, you really can't see actually, I marked that tooth with basically that valley right there. So when I put it back together, I know that's exactly the way it was before. And so whatever, you know, wear pattern is on this tooth is always going to match the wear pattern on that tooth right there. So anyways, long story short, we're putting this thing back together and getting at least one thing done tonight. All right, wasting no time getting to this. So I got the new rod bearings ready to go in. They are half STBX, which is basically half of a thousandths smaller, and then standard bearings. So just letting you guys know what's going back in it. Fresh rod bearings. I just ordered up the main bearings. They were a full 1,000 size undersize, so you get a little more clearance on them. Ordered them from Amazon, like 30 bucks. So they should be here in a couple days. But for now, I'm just gonna get the rod bearings in and just start getting this thing rolling.
Said you want to stand there with your arms around me, but I can't feel you. It's kind of like a dream. And then you walk out with another. Lord, my jaw hits the floor. It's kind of like a dream.
All right, it's another Thursday. Just so you guys know, I don't wear the same clothes every day. This is just my shop jacket that I'm always wearing because it's a little bit cold outside right now. We got the heater going. It's a nice warm 61 in here. Probably have a good 45 outside right now, something like that. And you guys just saw me throwing all the rod bearings. So now it's time for the mains. They just showed up in the mail. Got new main bearings, and I also figured that I was gonna get a new rear main seal because the one we had in the car was leaking a little bit. And I figured might as well do it. We're in there already, so can't hurt to put a new rear main seal on it. That was on sale on Amazon for like $8, so Velcro for the win. Anyways, gonna throw these in real quick, put you guys on time lapse. All right, so by now you guys are probably wondering how I'm gonna change all the main bearings in the motor with this still in the car and the crankshaft not coming out. Yeah, sure, the rods are easy. You just push up the piston, right? And you get both sides off. But how are you gonna get the other side off the main bearing on the block side? Well, just wait. I'm gonna knock every single one of these main caps off. So the only thing holding the crankshaft in the actual block is the pistons and the tension on the piston rings. That'll give you enough clearance to go ahead and take a little punch and push out the bearing on the non-tang side. Rotate it out, rotate the new ones in, golden. Voila! Just pulled it down, got enough clearance in there to get all the bearings out. While I'm down here, Eric's over there working on a trash can. What the hell are you doing over there, Eric?
Passing the tire.
Want to show these good people what they're doing over there?
Oh, I mean, I'm already done.
You got it in?
Yeah. Let's see here. There we go. Fresh patch / plug. A little bit of bead sealer. Hopefully it seals this time. Last time I tried to patch tire here, I lit the tire on fire because I didn't think that, you know, using a heat gun is probably, you know, better than using a torch. And bead sealer is flammable. If you didn't know that.
Now you know.
Now you know. Yeah, hopefully that'll seal. Get that tire back on there. So we don't have another tire dependent on a tube.
All right, despite the cold weather, managed to barbecue a little bit. Got a little hot in the grill. Back to the old Thirsty Thursdays. Got every condiment you can think of, besides mayonnaise. I don't eat that crap. Okay, I realized that we didn't actually do any filming or time lapsing of me actually replacing the main bearings. But I will tell you this, we got them all done, and the hardest one was the very front because we have all the serpentine belts set up still on there, or the, I guess you want to call it the V-belt set up. But I just basically had Eric put a pry bar between the water pump pulley and the crankshaft pulley, and that gave me enough clearance to get the bottom, or the upper half of the shell out. So nothing left the motor besides just the main caps that are back in there. And we got all the bearings replaced. I do have to torque them, so I figure I'll put you guys on time lapse at least so you see that I torque them down. And that'll be the end of this, and I'll put the oil pan back on. Oil pump too, can't forget the oil pump. Definitely need to put that guy in there. And then hopefully this thing will be just about done. And the race on Thanksgiving weekend is kind of up in the air. Track doesn't know if they're gonna let us run or not. So all we can do right now is hope for the best, and hope that this motor will go back together and run good, no more problems with the distributor gear, and we can go out there and at least have one more race this year. So I'm gonna get to it.
Angel with the bottle, I don't love you anymore. Yeah, I spent some time out with the devil, but you don't hurt me anymore. Yeah, I waste my time.
All right, now that all the main caps are torqued down, I just put on the oil pump, torqued that down, and I just scraped all the crap off there, the RTV, and practiced putting this oil pan on about 15 times up and down, trying to get it right. So when I put a bunch of RTV on this guy, I don't scrape it on something and wipe it off, so I got a clean shot just one time on there. Another thing, I'm not too fan of Kevco oil products, oil pan products or whatever, is the fact that you got to use RTV on this thing. I thought it was kind of cool at first, but now you got to scrape all the crap off every time, and you run the risk of actually putting, you know, chunks of RTV that might fall off into your rolling system and get caught up in the pan. There's also a big old chunk of RTV stuck in one of these little louvers right there. So I'm gonna go a little lighter this time in the RTV, and pray to God that when I put it in for the last time, I don't scrape any of that crap off. We'll see. All right, let's see how bad I can mess this up right here. Come on, baby. Of course, the last time doesn't want to go on like the first 15 times. Makes plenty of sense. Come on, baby, work with me here. I need you, there we go. Come on. Okay, just like that. Wow, I don't know how I got that. Whew. All right, just got all the bolts tightened up. Torqued to spec with my impact gun. Still gotta put the plugs in here and there. But that's gonna do it for now for me. I'm gonna let that RTV dry up before I go ahead and put any oil in it. And put her back down on the chassis. Close the gap a little bit. And see if she runs. I'm sure she will, but keep our fingers crossed. You guys keep your fingers crossed. All right, it's all buttoned up. She goes back in her home. Okay, new MSD distributor gear on here. Gonna go ahead and take a little bit of Prussian blue here, and this little fancy dancy brush that I use for ring and pinions, and brush on some Prussian blue on here, and stick it down there, rotate the motor a couple times, and see what our pattern looks like. I think it's kind of the same thing as a ring and pinion setup. You want it to be right in the middle of the tooth, not bottoming out or anything like that. Hopefully we're right on the money the first time. I don't know. Yeah, I'm pretty sure you can't see it in this camera, but doesn't look bad. It's right there, the shiny spot right in the middle of the tooth. It's a little bit on the bottom side, but I'd say it's about 2/3 of the way down the gear, or down the tooth for that matter. But it's in the middle, top to bottom of the tooth, so I'm gonna say that's pretty good. I didn't check it the first time I did it, and I did have to shim this thing quite a bit, so maybe that was a problem, but I'm pretty sure it's just that junk ass gear made in China. Don't ever go with it. I'm gonna end this video now, and hopefully the next time you see us on this camera, we'll be getting this thing ready to go on the track or at the track racing. So we'll see. Remember guys, if it's bent, definitely ain't broken, fix her up, get her back out there, figure out a way. All right, see you next time.